Self-care. It's such a deep, layered word, and for me, it's really become the process of getting to know yourself, showing up for yourself over and over again. In creation of the Self-Care Creature podcast, I want to teach you, too, how to have a relationship with yourself. We're going to dive into the psychological and physiological unfoldings of adopting what I love to call a self-care lifestyle. This podcast is here to help you, the stressed out but spiritually minded individual who can feel that wild calling in your heart, who wants to develop self-care rituals to support your daily living, give you the confidence and know-how to live through your intuition and raise your self-worth. You deserve it. You are capable of this. And I want to help you understand how the hell to get there, what it actually means, and how do you actually live it. That's where my intention is with this podcast. The Self-Care Creature podcast, brought to you by me, your host, Courtney Klopp. Let's dive in. Hey, what's up? Welcome back for episode 2. I'm feeling much more calm, collected, and confident coming into this episode, and I'm excited. I'm excited that you get to be on the journey of life with me, where some weeks I will be very collected and calm and perhaps more intentional, and other times I will be much more silly, and I'll always be intentional. Anyway, hoping that you catch my drift. Gonna stop rambling now. Let's move on to what the heck this episode is actually about, because this last weekend I just got home from working as the nutritionist and chef at a yoga retreat. It's my 3rd year at the retreat, but it was the 5th year of the retreat itself. So I've been there for 3 out of the 5 years. I'm at this retreat just this past weekend in Cle Elum, Washington, Central Washington. And I get into this really amazing conversation with one of the participants there. And I know that she's a mom, and that I found out later that she homeschools her kids and just has like a really busy life, as a lot of us do. And she said to me, she was like, okay, so self-care I can understand. But when it comes to self-love, I don't know what that is. Like, I don't even know where to start. That's where I feel stunted or maybe not, maybe stunted, stunned. I'm constantly like, what do these words mean? So I just loved having this conversation with her, and it really struck me so deeply that I thought maybe, just maybe, it would strike you deeply, and we should have a conversation about this. So we're talking about self-love in terms of self-care, and I really think that they both fold, at least in my definition of self-care, they fold right back into each other. They are one in the same, because self-care is all about getting to know yourself better. Again, I'm going to say what our definition of self-care is. It's a lifelong commitment of showing up for yourself. That lifelong commitment means that it's a process. It never ends. You are showing up for yourself over and over and over again to know what you need, what best serves you, and how to honor your well-being so that you don't have to sacrifice your health or your worth, and you can feel confident showing up as who you are in this world, and be there for the people that you care about, and that there's nothing dazzling or limiting about any of it. It's real, true inner work for an honest peace of mind, which leads to a high quality life. It's something that we are all capable of. It doesn't cost any fucking money, and it's made out to be an illusion in our society because we are not taught that it is attainable. We're not taught that it's realistic. We're not taught to get to know ourselves better. Literally everything in this world is pulling us outside of ourselves. And not only is it pulling us outside of ourselves, it's luring us outside of ourselves with the like brainwashing, essentially, that we are lacking, that we don't have enough. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough money. We don't have the right partner, or we don't have a partner. We don't have the right job, or our job sucks. And just like constantly, we live in this world of fear and lack. And when you start to practice awareness and you start showing up to yourself and you start infusing just a little bit more love and abundance into your life, holy shit, it's really easy to start seeing how fucking fearful we all are. And then we get to choose to not live in that space anymore. So it's not actually scary. Fear is opportunity in disguise, which is really exciting. And opportunity is a space for growth. And when we grow, we learn. And when we learn, we get to know ourselves better. And that's where our lives start to change a bit. So clearly, I'm really fired up about this. And I really love these conversations. And I really hope that you feel just as fired up. So coming back to self-love, and self-care. So you can't begin to like yourself, and you're especially not going to love yourself if you don't even have a relationship with yourself, okay? Back to that definition. I'm always going to be coming back to that definition, that lifelong commitment, that process of showing up for yourself. And that process of showing up for yourself is learning about yourself, but you have to have a relationship with yourself. And currently, at least most of the people that I know or work with, we are waking up, we're getting out of bed immediately, we're making breakfast, and this is just a single person that I live in my world of being single. Can't even imagine having a spouse, having a family, and all these other things. I don't even have pets right now. Okay, I do have plants, and there's a pretty big spider living in one of my plants, and I just named that spider Dahlia. So that doesn't count, though, because that's still simple stuff. Anyway, I'm always going off on side rants. ENFP life. So you have to have this relationship with yourself. And the world that we currently live in is that you get up, you run around, you do all of these things, and we want to fill ourselves up more with outside sources. And we do that by hanging out with friends all the time, hanging out with our spouse, watching TV, like all of this stuff, and none of it. When are you stopping and taking a breath and reminding yourself that you're here for you? When in your day are you reminding yourself that you are here for you? Are you ever stopping and pepping yourself up and reminding yourself that you've got this? That maybe you actually do have the time to take a breath. Maybe you do have the time to step away from your desk and actually have a lunch break. I mean, you can't just hope and wish that some amazing person in your life will come along and be that friend for you. You need to be that friend for yourself. And I feel grateful over the idea that maybe I can be that inspiration for you. I can be that person to remind you to do this for yourself. But in me being this person, I want you to realize that it doesn't come from an outside source. I can be an expander for you. I can be a person that helps you believe that it is possible, but you have to do it for yourself. You need to slow down somewhere in there. And I recently shared on Instagram that one of the ways that I love slowing down with myself is just taking a breath in the morning. I open my eyes, I wake up, and I take a nice deep breath. And of course, this is when I'm actually feeling awake and I'm about to get out of bed. I had somebody pop up on Instagram and they were like, I really want to try this. I've set my alarm early. I want to get up at 5. It's so hard. I can never get up that early. Hey, you don't have to rearrange all of these parts of your life and fit yourself into any kind of a box. I mean, if you want to get up that early, cool. But what I heard this person saying is that it's really hard for them and that it's a drag and they have to, you can put all these things in place to help yourself shift, but I say support yourself where you're at before you're trying to make all of these changes. So you wake up in the morning, you're ready to wake up, you take that breath. It's literally one breath before you get out of bed. Maybe you sit up on the edge of the bed, you put your feet on the ground, and you just notice what it feels like to have your feet on the ground for a moment, and you take a breath, an intentional breath. And really paying attention to how you feel. Because I know for myself, I tend to wake up in the morning and I take a breath, I notice how I feel, and then my mind's like, oh shit, here's the 100 things that you have to do today. And it's something that really helps me with that is making a list. Get it out of my brain. I try to do it before I go to bed, but often, otherwise, not necessarily often, but otherwise I will do it in the morning, and I just jot down like all the things in my brain that I think I need to do today. I can analyze it later, whether or not I actually do it today, but it gets it out of my freaking brain so that I can actually be with myself. If you don't figure out a way to help organize your life, then you're never going to be able, you're just constantly going to be decluttering, and that's not a relationship with yourself. I hope that makes sense. I hope that resonates deeply. And I just want to reiterate that the journey of getting to know yourself is really freaking hard, and that's why it has to become a practice. Again, we don't live in a world that encourages it, but if you start incorporating these tiny little things, these tiny little details, more and more each day, and I'm just saying more and more each day, I'm not saying every single day, but the more you have an intention, the more you strive to show up for it, the more it's going to come into play, the more it's going to be a regular thing. I always like starting, it's more often than not is the goal. I just want to do it more often than not. This week, I want to do it more often than not. Maybe that just means 4 times out of 7, because 7 days in a week. But make it work for you. Let yourself flow, okay? Know that it is hard. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle. Where you feel resistance, ask yourself, how can I support myself here? Why am I resisting this? Why don't I like this? Okay? So, over self-love, aside from self-love, we're talking about having this relationship with yourself. And maybe when you have this relationship with yourself, you can start to begin to like yourself, to just want to show up and support yourself. But before liking and before loving and before this relationship really blooms, we'll go with flower metaphors, before this relationship really blooms, blossoms, why don't you just strive for neutrality? Body neutrality is a big thing right now. I've been reading up on it a little bit, and just really strive to be neutral so that you can hold space. You can be in space with yourself rather than the shame and the guilt and the hiding from yourself. Please don't hide from yourself. There's no more hiding from yourself in a self-care lifestyle, in this self-care journey, okay? On the journey of getting to know yourself better. You can't hide if you really want to change your life, and if you really want to be able to show up. You're done hiding. And if that feels scary, pause this and take a breath right now and ask yourself why. Maybe get your journal out and journal about it. And remind yourself that you are here to support yourself. You're ready to be seen by yourself. It doesn't mean anybody else has to see you right now. It's just you. But we're going for neutral. You're going for neutral. I want you to go for neutral. I feel like personally in my journey, I bounce back and forth. Actually, I almost said that I've surpassed neutrality and am in love. And I think oftentimes I do feel very warm towards myself, but also I strive for neutrality a lot too. It doesn't have to, I don't want you to think you're striving for this big bubbly presence with yourself all the time. You're not like walking past the mirror doing the little squirt gun like, hey girl, like you got it, I'm fabulous, I love myself, giving yourself hugs and kisses all day. Like, no. Maybe some days. I definitely don't live a life like that. But I think that overall it's neutrality. I want you to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and see the creature that you are, the human being that you are. I want you to be able to look yourself in the eyes and take a breath and see that you are a human being, that being alive is a gift, that there are billions of processes going on in your body right now, and holy shit, you can look in the mirror and know that you are looking at yourself. Like, you are an intellectual being. Dolphins can do that too, just so you know. And it's a gift. It's such a gift to be a human being. And I want you to be able to realize that, rather than avoiding yourself in the mirror because you don't want to see it, or even looking at yourself in the mirror and becoming obsessive over what you see, or nitpicking and that negative self-talk. So I have a few tips that I want to leave you with for striving towards body neutrality. And the first thing is going to be turning that inner critic around. And to turn that inner critic around, you have to notice what it's saying. So try striving for some positive self-talk. That's my number one tip. And for that, what helped me the most is leaving sticky notes around my house everywhere. I left, it's positive affirmations or quotes, lyrics from songs, whatever uplifts you and makes you feel good. And I had a client once that was like, well, I have roommates and I don't necessarily want these self-love quotes just all around my house. I feel weird about that. And I'm like, well, what about, I was like, you have a good relationship with your roommates, right? Yeah. Well, these are people that love you, right? Yeah. They're actually your friends and your partner, right? Yeah. Well, these people want to support you. Let them know that this is for your happiness. This is for your mental health. This is for your well-being. Invite them to join in on it. Make a movement in your household that you guys are no longer going to be in a negative self-talk loop, that you're getting yourselves out. There's no need to feel awkward or embarrassed or self-conscious about this anymore. This is for our mental health. This is for the betterment of our well-beings. And in turn, we become empowered and this ripple effect comes out and we start to change the world. And it starts with ourselves and then in our tiny communities that is maybe just your roommates and then maybe your family sees it. And that's just how change starts. But it starts with changing the way that we talk to ourselves and the way that we perceive ourselves. And I think that positive self-talk or self-love sticky notes or quotes, whatever resonates with you the most, I think that is a really great place to start. Another tip is going to be eye gazing. And back in April, I actually had this experience and experiment with myself, and I recorded it on YouTube. So I do have a YouTube video. I'll see about linking it in the show notes. But it just completely shifted my life. I remember when I first did it, I got out of the shower. I was staying at a friend's house because I had just gotten out of my long-term partnership and I was giving him a week to be at the apartment by himself, and I was doing my own thing for a second. And I just got out of the shower and I looked myself in the eye and I took a breath and I felt this weirdness in my body. And of course I looked away immediately and I was just like, just got out of the shower. I'm going to continue getting ready or whatevs. And then I was like, no, you look yourself in the eye right now. And you keep looking. I mean, I didn't exactly say that, but I realized that I looked away quickly. I recognized that I had this feeling come into my body. And so I looked back and I took a few more breaths and I just kept staring. And it was weird. It was like I was having a staring contest with myself, but I was really just seeing myself for the first time. It's like I was reminding myself that I'm here. I am here with you. You are going through a lot of shit right now. And it was really just seeing myself. And it gave me goosebumps and it gave me shivers. And it was it almost felt shameful to not want to show up for myself. Like, it was weird that it felt weird. I was like, why can't I be here with myself? And so I encourage you to do that. Give it a try. See what comes up for you. Does it feel awkward? Can you not do it? Does it make you want to laugh? Do you feel stupid? Because in reality, it's just you with you. And any thoughts and judgment going on in your head is only coming from you. And oftentimes we feel awkward because we're thinking about what other people will think. Well, nobody's fucking with you in the bathroom right then and there looking at yourself in the mirror. It's you. And you're cultivating a new relationship with yourself. And then I felt really grateful to have that particular moment with myself, and that's what sparked it. And then after that, I decided to do the experiment of eye gazing with myself for a week straight, just at least 1 minute a day. And after that, when I came back to be really intentional about looking at myself in the mirror, I realized like when I show up and look at myself in the mirror, I want to just look at myself in the mirror and take breaths and be present like I was in that moment, that first time when I caught my eye and I was just standing there. But when I came back to try and make it a practice, I could not have that clarity. All I saw were, oh, look at these wrinkles on my eyes. Look at the crusties on my eyes. Oh, look at my dry skin. Look at that little hair coming out of my mole on my cheek. Like I was just tearing myself apart. And then I'd notice, and then, after a couple days, start to notice the thoughts and the picking apart and everything. And so I'd be every single time, just like meditation, every single time I notice my thoughts getting away from me, noticing all these things on my face and my body, I'd take a breath, come back to the eye contact, and just breathe here, feeling my body, watching myself. Literally, I think of it watching myself like an animal, like an animal in the wild. Feel free to laugh at that if you want, but we are creatures. We are of nature. We are human beings. And to just be with yourself, to try to be with yourself, it changes things. It's magical. It's wild. If you give this a try, I for sure really want to know what your experience is. Please tag me, share about it. It's brave. I think it's brave and courageous because it's scary as fuck to slow down and be with ourselves. Whew. Okay. Last tip here. Are you ready for this? This is a number one tip that I give people often, and I share about it often, and I use it in almost all my classes. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and take a deep breath. Maybe close your eyes. You can relax your face. Obviously, if you're driving or something like that, just be safe. I drive with my knees sometimes, but I'm not trying to encourage you to do that. Just be safe wherever you're at. This is the exercise, though. You're placing your hands on your body, and you're taking a couple of deep breaths, and you're feeling your body's rhythms. I have my hands on my body right now while I'm recording now, and I can feel my voice reverberating through my chest. Your breath and your voice is so powerful. This is the number one exercise that I have heard. The feedback I have received that I was not even expecting is that this is the number one way to bring yourself back from an anxiety attack. Or if you're feeling anxious at all, place your hands on your body and just breathe. You have no other responsibility in this moment. Just breathe. And then I'm sitting here all of a sudden thinking about this with my hands on my own chest, feeling my voice and feeling this vibration in my chest, in my lungs, in my heart space. And I'm just thinking, our tone, like not only do our thoughts drastically affect our body, which could be a whole nother episode, but if you're just feeling this vibration of your own voice, and think about the way that you talk to people out loud, or if you whisper and mutter things under your breath, and just the general vibration of your voice in your body throughout the day on a day-to-day basis. Are you constantly sarcastic, scoffing, gossiping, scowling? That is, my hand is still on my chest. All of those things are vibrating within your body, especially within your heart space. I definitely don't feel my voice as much, if at all, down in my belly, but here in my heart space, right below my vocal cords. Wow. Honestly, I feel like I'm having a magical moment here for a second. We do have the power to heal ourselves. And I think one of the biggest things that I've come to realize is that it's this big, huge, intricate web, this healing process. And it doesn't matter where you start, and wherever you decide to start, even though you think you're on this tiny one little thread of the web, you're pulling at the entire web. And there are giant shifts and deeper layers of healing that are occurring beyond your comprehension. The more I learn about healing, and especially diving into like trauma responses and trauma sensitive trainings, my mind is just blown at the practices that I have taken upon myself and into my teachings and with my clients over the years. And then learning now, I'm just starting to dive into the deeper science behind what's actually shifting physiologically in the body and how that is being proven now to heal. So you don't have to know the science. You can cultivate this trust that in showing up and cultivating this relationship with yourself, you have this trust that you are healing, that you are doing your best. I really hope that you found this episode, I guess I'm a little speechless. I just hope that you found it fulfilling. I hope that it resonated with you. I hope that you feel empowered. And I would really, really want to know what you got out of it most. And if you would, if you care to, if you are on Instagram, please share how this resonated with you and tag me so that I can see it. I would absolutely I would adore that. It would make me so tickled. I love getting into the DMs, sending voice messages, sometimes video messages. And I just love communicating with you. And I want to know how this resonates because I'm here for you. And I'm here because I believe in you. And we need you. We need you to step up and to have this relationship with yourself because the time is now. The world is changing quickly and drastically, and we need you on board with this healing journey and this healing process. Oh, okay. I'm sending you so much love. I cannot wait to reconnect whenever we do. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for believing in me. But most importantly, thank you so much for believing in yourself. I'm going to leave you with one tiny homework tip. Hands-on body breathing. Whenever you are safe and ready, place one hand on your tummy, one hand on your heart, and remind yourself that you do believe in yourself, that you are here for yourself. And if either of those statements aren't resonating right now or they just don't feel right, please find one that does and share it with me because I'd love to know. All right, now take care. I just want to take a quick moment to sincerely thank you for tuning in today. It really means the world to me that you are here supporting me, listening to what I have to say, and I sincerely hope that it finds you well and helps you wherever you're at in your life. And if you're ever wondering what other kind of stuff I have to offer you, you can check out my free resources or my paid offerings, both available on my website, www.selfcarecreature.com. And if you're looking for another simple and free way to support my business, because woo, small business, you can simply leave a review for the podcast, or even easier, take a screenshot right now and post it and tag me on Instagram. That is the easiest way, and it just builds community, builds connection. I will be able to see it and connect with you then. Thank you for taking the time to do that. Thanks for being here. Cheers.